Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there, so you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we're going to be discussing 90 Day OG. We're going to be doing episodes 17 and 18, so we're going to be caught up with the reunion after this episode. So yeah, we don't have any hot goss in this episode, but just a quick announcement again is that the piggybacking off the Patreon ad, this month's documentary on the third tier is Escaping Twin Flames. So again, you can go on over there. You can get the full coverage of all 3 parts of that documentary on the Patreon. Episode 2 and 3 is exclusive to Patreon. However, there is the first episode available for you to try before you go over there and buy. That's already out. It's out as of today. So I'm gonna go listen to that and then hop on over to Patreon if you so choose. But yeah, that's basically it on top of the episode. I don't think we have anything else that we need to discuss. So let's just hop right into the episode. So let's start with Stevie and Maudie. So again, we are dealing with like the wedding type episodes here too. So it's going to be a little shorter, but that's okay. So we're kind of piggybacking off here the conversation that started with him, basically the same thing. I didn't talk about it in that last episode just because it is kind of the same thing. So we'll have kind of square it up here. When they do go back to, I guess they went back to Hattiesburg after the joint bachelor and bachelorette parties. He kind of says to her, like, this is the last time I'm asking you. I really want to know whether or not you're bisexual. And she kind of is like, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize how much like this was hurting you until you told me that you told Saeed about the pictures or the canvases painting the people like one of Jack's French girls. And my thing here with this is just like, ma'am, how do you not realize that this was bothering him? Why did it take him telling you he went to Saeed and is talking about it there You're not taking this seriously. This man has brought this conversation up to you, at least on camera, at least 5 times. So how are you really saying that he doesn't that you don't realize this is bothering him? I'll get to this in a minute, but it's just like, I don't buy it. I think you do know how much this is bothering him. And for you to be so flippant on your answers, like, I still don't buy what she's about to say to him. But I'll get to that. She's like, I realized that I could have just told you the answer. Yes, you could have just told him the answer. That is true. But she says the answer is no. Y'all, I'm going to have like proof moving forward once we kind of get to the wedding on how I do not believe this. There is something going on. I don't know if it's that maybe she is not bisexual and that is fine. But what if she's like mincing words? What if she identifies as queer or pan or, whatever, or just doesn't even label herself in general? But she has been involved sexually, at least. I don't know necessarily emotionally, but sexually at least, has been involved with women. I wonder if she is kind of playing around with the truth. Because I don't buy it. And I'll explain why when we get to it. So she says, I allowed you to worry about it longer than you should have. Well, yeah, you definitely did, but more on that later. So the next day, he kind of goes to Saeed and tells him, okay, yeah, we talked about it. She says that she's not bisexual, so it's done. And listen, despite what we're all saying here, if your friend is coming to you and saying, we dealt with the issue, I don't think she is anymore, it's done. Let it go. But this fucking guy is literally like, so you actually don't have an answer. You're just taking her word for it. Well, isn't that what one does? Unless you have proof of otherwise. That is what you do. You have to kind of take someone's word for it. This man really is single, isn't he? Like, seriously. But he says, are you sure about this? Are you truly happy with what you're about to do? He says he is. It's like, okay, so then let's get you married. Then Saeed, after all of this, which is kind of like a nothing, goes to see Stevie and says, like, it's like, so could we talk sometime before the wedding? Could we do that? They do. There's nothing to this conversation. It's just more of the same shit that they kind of talked about before. She says I'm a little annoyed, but at the same time, I'm happy he has someone who's looking out for him. So, it was nothing to really talk about. Anyways, I do find that she looked pretty in her dress. And I don't mind the kind of mystical look, or a mystical look. That's not so much just, I don't know, her hair kind of made me think of like a pixie. Not a pixie, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like a Tinkerbell type situation. Someone out there in the forest. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of where Maleficent used to live before she went evil. Or she still lived there, I guess. I don't know. But like that, like very mystical forest, it kind of what it made me think. And although it's cute, I don't I didn't like her hair. I don't know. I feel like when you're getting married and all you do is kind of leave your hair down or leave in like that messy look or whatever, which I'm not saying her hair necessarily had a messy look to it. I'm just saying, I feel like you can do like an updo, kind of do something different with your hair. Um, so I don't know. It was fine. Dress is fine though. So then her friends are like, get in, loser, we're getting married. And she's a millennial. So, Saeed, do you know how to tie a tie? Because apparently in Iranian culture, wearing a tie symbolizes living in the States. Signify living in the States in Iran, we're a country that hates the States. Not gonna go good. So, wear ties. Um, But they do try, they attempt, they tie it really bad, it's not good, and I said, "Y'all, Google is your best friend. Just find a YouTube video on how to tie a tie, it's fine. Like, we don't have to go through all this." Anyways, this was the sweetest thing that I'm about to talk about. I thought this was so sweet, it actually made me get a little emotional when I watched it the first time. When they get to the venue, and the guys are there first, Monty sees this table that has, like, the stuff on it, and you can see the emotion coming on his face. So he explains to us that she has done something that's called a half sin, which basically just straight translates into 7 things that start with S. And he also mentions that this is pretty a big deal because Parisian New Year is coming up, or Persian New Year is coming up soon. Um, so this is his first Persian New Year without his family. So this is really special. Um, so he's like, it was very sweet. It's such a sweet gesture. And see, Jessica, that's what you do when you need to incorporate your soon to be husband's culture into a wedding. She did that without him knowing. And she thought about it and she did the research on it. Like that's that's how it's done. It's very sweet. Then this was sweet as well. When Stevie and her dad Perry see each other, because he's like waiting for her as she gets to the venue, it's so emotional. And it kind of made one realize in this moment, like, you know, things like this, it's like numbered for her and her father. These connections between them, it's numbered. And it was just really emotional to see. And it's so cute because he's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm getting married." Um, and he says, this is where it got me. After everything, they're meeting, seeing each other. He says, when she came to me to tell me about what was going on, that she was marrying him, I honestly thought she was going to come to me to tell me she was either pregnant or a lesbian. What does he know that we as the viewer or Madi doesn't know? Because for him to say that, and we kind of saw a glimpse of that as well when she went to him and told him Madi's name. He's like, is that a girl's name or a boy's name? Why would you think that? He knows something, which lends me to think if he's saying things like that unprompted, that's weird. That's a weird thing. But something tells me it's not unprompted. Something has happened and he's been aware. He's been told something's gone on, and this is why he's saying it, which is why I don't believe her. I still think she's lying to him. And that's even worse because now you are purposely lying. Where before you can twist it and say, oh, wasn't lying, so I didn't tell you anything. Withholding is still lying, but now you are outwardly lying. I don't know, man. Something doesn't feel right. And we're not done with this because obviously it's going to come up. Sean's going to ask the question. So we know it's coming up. So it's just something right. Anyway, he's like, I hope that's the end of surprises for a while. Me too. So this cake that they had, now I know they did this in short notice. They only have 30 days. They gave themselves 30 days. So I know like you're doing things under the gun. But this cake looked like they bought it at Walmart. Okay. Or a grocery store or whatever. Grocery stores are available. It wasn't good. It wasn't like a pretty cake. I'm sure it was tasty. But I'm sure it was not a wedding cake. But the part that gets me the most is while they're feeding each other the cake, she literally says to him, post-COVID, I didn't wash my hands. Bitch, we have been told by the CDC that we need to wash our hands, scrub-a-dub-dub for 20 seconds to make sure the germs are gone. And you're going to, quote unquote, joke about not washing your hands while you're feeding your pissy or your poopy hands with cake to him. That is disgusting. Whether it was a joke or not, you were sick. Why would you even think to say that in a post-COVID world? Seriously, watching this, go on tangent here. If you listen to my other podcast, you know that I've been doing a Golden Girls watch. I'm currently in the 4th season. Love this show. It is such a good show. Duh, we all know this already, but it's so good and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving the show. But when you see people like a Sophia or Dorothy or whatever getting sick, and like there's one episode and stuck in my head, I think it was both Dorothy and maybe it was Rose, that both got sick, and Blanche isn't sick, but she's like around them. I'm like, we don't do that anymore. Like, you can't. You get sick, you have to isolate. Like, that's when it comes down to. If you are sick of the dog, you need to isolate. Like, that's kind of how it was in my house. When my mom got sick during Christmas, she isolated herself. Now, it didn't help because my brother got sick, I got sick. But we still, we isolate. That's the way of the world these days. It's so weird to me. Anyways, that's it though. That is it for Stevie and Maddie. They are married. Yay. We'll see them at the tell hall. Harper and Shekinah. So this is, where we kind of get to the point where she's found him after doing the location. So he basically asks her, how did you find me? And she's like, so I put a tracker, I put a Apple tag on your keys just in case you lose them, just in case, and we need to find your keys. You're seriously gonna lie to him right now? Because she will, in a second, I don't know if it's right away, but she literally will say to him, I don't know why, it's such a big deal. Everyone shares their location with their partners. Ma'am? Hi. No, I don't. I still know where my boyfriend is 9 times out of 10, but I don't have a location on him. He doesn't have a location on me. We don't do that to each other. We respect each other's privacy, because as much as we're... Sorry, guys, I didn't make a quick pause there. But yeah, basically, I was just saying that, it's not necessary to share your location with your partner. It's just not. Um, but he says to her, you gave this to me day one. What? Is what she says. What? Yeah, because he's caught your ass. He knows that you're just trying to track him. So she says, it's not a big deal. It's only a big deal if you make it one. But he's freaking out about the marriage. That's kind of the big thing for him. But he says it's not about her. And I believe him. I do believe him. I talked about this before. And he says, you brought up the prenup, freaked him out too. He's like, it feels like it's a new thing every day. But she says, if this is bugging you, we can always do a post-nup later. We don't have to do the prenup. I mean, in all honesty, a person does not need to sign a prenup, but then the other person doesn't need to marry them. You know what I mean? But she says, if we don't get married, you have to go back. Is that what you want? Pause, not, he takes a second, but he says, no, I don't want to not be with you. She's like, well, it took you a long time to answer. Bitch, he answered though, so let's calm down here. Let him think through his words here. He says, this is where he says, when it comes to women, you have to give them your finger. Then turns into your arm. Then, before you know it, the whole body. And we've heard him say this before. So we're done there. They get through. We're heading to the venue, quote unquote, because it's just the hotel room. She didn't get to tour it before because it was always full. No shit. Because it's a hotel room. I think the goal for the hotel to um make money on the room is to keep it occupied. It's a weird concept. Anyways, she's seeing it for the first time now. And when she sees it, she's like, I hate how worn out it looks. It's making me sad. I don't like it. She's like, I wanted a big bed under the chandelier. That's how they advertised it, but it's not even in this room. It's in the next room. And she literally starts crying, like bawling about the fact that this is not her vision. And he's so perceptive because he's going to say something in a second, but he tells her, calm down. It's just not my style. And he's like, not everything can be perfect. And she's like, I should have come. I should have insisted. I should have told the people who were using this room to get the fuck out so that I could see the room. Like, seriously? I mean, no, that's part up. Um, she's like, I don't like it. It's ugly. Look at it. It's not cute. It's girl, calm down. Um, he's like, when you cry, I become upset. And he's like, listen, seriously, I mean, like, I told her that I was scared to get married. Not a cry. Nothing going on. She's fine. But she's crying over this? Like, you're something going on in your brain. Anyway, how about we just move the bed into the living room, move the dining room table, so the bed can be underneath the chandelier like you want it. And we can use the blinds as the backdrop. It's going to look beautiful for the pictures. And she's like, okay, it's going to be fine. So after all of the commotion of moving the furniture, we're putting this mask on Sarper. And he's like, oh my God, I just saw myself. I look like the crypt keeper. Then she's doing like this eye massage thing. She's like, okay, babe, I'm gonna do my lymphatic drainage on my face. So she starts doing that. Then she's putting this thing on her neck to help with the wrinkles. Now we're gonna put this contraption or whatever. It will kind of look like what cowboys wear when they're gonna like go bull riding or something. So she's like, we're gonna put these things on one leg at a time. Okay, put this leg in. Okay, let's do the other side. He's like, are you executing me? He's like, I feel like a mummy. Um, she's like, okay, now we're gonna put this thing on your face. It's this like, and then there's this eye thing over him. He looks like an Avenger. He actually looks like, what's the doctor's name in X-Men? That's basically what she was it the doctor or somebody else? That's like, maybe not an X-Men, maybe. Oh, I don't remember his name, but you know the guy who played, who Channing Tatum played in, shit. Oh, Deadpool. That's what it looked like with the red glasses things. It was just not right. It was so weird. And I'm like, is he supposed to sleep like this? It's so weird. And the way that you see his eyes through this thing, they were so big. He looks so big. I mean, no wonder he has nightmares later. Anyways, then she starts doing this other thing. And he's like, what's that thing for? My double chin? Your double what? Bitch, you do not have a double chin. If you think you have a double chin, I think I'm I think I'm worried about body dysmorphia because where's your double chin? I mean, I'm a bigger girl. I don't even have a double chin. It's like, what are you talking about? It's so weird. Oh man. Anyway, It's our bedding day, not to get confused with their wedding day. Um, so she slept fine. He did not sleep well because he was having nightmares, probably about the wedding. She's like, I don't know what he was saying because he was talking in his sleep, but he was speaking Turkish. Drove her nuts. But I'm just like, I'm not surprised that he had nightmares. My guy went to sleep looking like an Avenger a second ago. That would spook anybody. So they're getting ready separately. She's um texting him to just check on him, calling him, no answer. Um, so she's freaking out. She's like, he did this yesterday and he took off. Like, I'm worried. But she does call him. He does end up answering. And she's like, what are you doing? Well, I don't know, bitch, getting ready to get married. It's weird. Like, you're not answering me. He's like, I just wasn't looking at my phone because I'm getting ready to get married. So, anyways, so their looks, okay, it's unconventional. They looked, they both looked great, I will say. So I'll talk about their different looks individually. Usually I don't talk about men's looks because it's usually just a man in a tuxedo, but this is very different. He kind of looks like a Chippendales dancer. He's like, I feel like Patrick Swayze when he was a Chippendales dancer in a movie. And I'm like, what? Listen, I don't claim to have seen every single Patrick Swayze movie, but close. Um, what? In case you're confused, I was not confused. When I first heard this, I'm like, was he a Chippendales dancer in a movie? Like, did I miss something? Because I thought it was just the SNL skit. No, I was right. It's just the SNL skit. So if you don't know the SNL skit, go on YouTube, type in Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley, Chippendales SNL skit. I'm sure it'll pop up or whatever. And you'll see. He was very confused. But it's funny. That skit's funny. Anyway. Um, and then she is kind of going for the lingerie look. It's And her hair for the purpose of this, like, with the dress, it was perfect. Because, yeah, it's gonna have this kind of slept-in look or, something like that. I thought it was actually really pretty with the dress. She looked hot in the dress. She looked amazing. She has a perfect body to fit that dress. It's unconventional, like I said, but you know what? For the wedding that this was, the wedding, sorry, it was a perfect look. If she wore that in a different situation, it would have been no bueno. But with this, it was great. Um, so the wedding starts, and I'm thinking, so they really got an officiant to agree to a wedding. This is so weird. Can you imagine that phone call? Hi, hi. So we really want to use your services, but like we need to talk about like how this wedding is going to be. So I'm thinking we're going to get married in a bed. Yes. Yes, you heard me correctly. I want to get married in a bed. We're going to have a chandelier over the bed with beautiful vines or whatever curtains that are going to be the backdrop. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be perfect. So, can you do this? Oh, you want to upcharge me? Okay. Like, it's so weird. I mean, again, as a person who's been married, and again, anyone else listening who has been married, who has had an officiant officiate their wedding, I'm literally thinking about me having a conversation like this with the officiant who officiated my marriage, who was a Black Jamaican man. This would have been so weird. It would have been so weird. But it's fitting for them. As much as I think this is weird, I think it's fitting for them because their life revolves around their sex life. They and I don't hate on that because I honestly, when I think about my relationship, same. I think we definitely connect on many things, but sex is one of them. So it's I think I wouldn't do a betting, but I'm just saying, like, I think for them, with him having 3,000 people he's had 1,500, what was it? 1,500? 1,500 people he's had sex with, she's whatever. This was perfect. It was a perfect wedding for them. So afterwards, oh, before we get to the afterwards, when she's doing her vows to him and she says, "You are grounded, you're loyal, and you're honest." Are we talking about Sarper? Honest, yes. 100%. Not honest, scratch that. Loyal. He's definitely been loyal to her. 100%. Grounded? This is the same man who freaked out about a vanity, but he's grounded. Honest? He's not honest because he lied to you about his tally book and the history behind the bottles. Honest? Is a weird choice. Anyways, he promises to never cheat on her, not even once. She said thank you because that's the least you could do. After the wedding, he does a little striptease, very reminiscent of the first season. It was just as awkward. Well, not just as awkward, but it was still awkward. But then they're going to get to what they came here to do. So that's it for Sharper and Shekinah. I predict they'll be on Happily Ever After. I don't think we've seen the full cast of Happily Ever After yet. They're going to be on there. They have to be. This is so weird. They have to be on. Anyways, let's move on to people I never want to see again. The throuple. So this is their last full day together in the second last episode. So Annie Brenda, who do you want to marry? This whole conversation and the feel of it literally felt like Bachelor or Bachelorette being like, I choose you. It was so weird. But she says, so you can only marry one, kind of like what they would say in The Bachelor. I can only marry one. And Mimi's like, I want to say to you before you say your answer, because I need to say this before I rip your throat out if you say anything else differently. Um, Whatever decision you make, I will be okay with it. But like, in the moment, she says, I do want her to pick me so that I can marry a woman and be my true bisexual self. So is okay. So the only way you can live your true bisexual self is marrying a woman. You haven't been doing that and being in a relationship with a woman in a throuple, fucking a woman in your throuple. None of that has been living your true, authentic, bisexual self. But marrying her, yeah, that's going to be it. Whatever, bitch. Because that's the reason why. No, it's more like, I'm a selfish bitch and I want her to marry me. So I have my decision. The person who I want to marry is da we're gonna have jaws because bitch, the claws are coming out because she picks Matt. I was not expecting that. I for sure thought she was gonna pick a meanie because this is the same person. She says, I'm in this relationship for you. So wouldn't you then want to marry the person you're in the relationship with for? You know what I mean? But instead she picks Matt. It's the weirdest shit thing. Her reason? I think we need one man to protect our family, protect us. What has he been doing? You've been having one man in your relationship the entire time. Does that change now because you have written on paper? Like, it's so weird. Anyway, he's like, I can do that. No, you can't. Because the person you need to protect the family from is the person who's in the family. Anyways, and he's terrified of her. He says, I didn't expect that. Same girl, same. And Mimi's like, really? Really? You picked him? Like, I've worked twice as hard than him in this relationship. And there she is. Y'all, there she is. She couldn't even help herself. She couldn't even wait a second to be like, oh. She just went right in and been like, I've been working harder in this relationship than he has it. We're gonna end a marriage in this tell all because the shit this bitch has said about her husband. Then again, I haven't seen anything of it, but I know she's already talked shit about her husband and treated him like shit before, and he stayed through that. So they're on. We're gonna end the marriage. Um, she's like, it feels like a punch to the heart. No, no, correction. It feels like a stab to the heart. Doesn't both those hurt really bad? I didn't need you to clarify it's a stab to the heart. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, um, Annie Brenda says, are you angry about my decision? And Amini Amani says, no, I'm not. I'm just, I'm trying to understand. It's like studying for an exam. What? Let's keep going. It's like studying for an exam and you only get a B when, like, you thought you would get an A because you studied and you studied and you studied. And I'm like, so are we equating a human to an exam? Because what? Did you fucking study? That's the other thing. If that is the case, what about Annie Brenda? Did you study? Where you felt like you aced it? I'm just trying to understand, like, why you, that's the analogy you went with. I have questions. Anyways, Annie Brenda says, all you want is control. So I'm worried that you might think you're the boss of me if I were to marry you, because she understands. She's in this. She sees the dynamic already between Amini and Matt. So, no bitch, no, you're not going to do that to me. And she goes on to say, like, she loves drama. She does. And Amini is like, Matt, do you think I'm controlling? There's only one way for him to answer this question, and that is no, love. That's what he says. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Can you imagine if he said, bitch, yes, you controlling. You have controlled me my whole fucking life. The whole time we've been in this marriage, you've been controlling me. From the time I was in the womb, you've been controlling my ass. You are controlling. Can you imagine? She would have slit his throat and left him in Mexico, 15 minutes away from home. I'm just, okay. So the next day, we get on-screen text. Production went to film their last morning together, and they walked in finding them in the middle of a fight. So Annie Brenda is upset, apparently. She explains, or they say like they don't know why she's upset, but she explains that the reason she's upset is because I was going to be fucking you bitches and not being able to work to support my ass and my children. I asked them to give me rent or pay for rent that month because I won't be able to have the money because she doesn't get to take vacation and still get paid. She is a stripper. She has to be on the floor stripping in order to make money. So this is what she said. Amini said, sure, fine, no problem. She apparently was trying to transfer the money while in Mexico, but there was a problem. And she's like, no big deal. We're going to be home in like 20 minutes anyways. I'll go to the bank and I'll get this figured out. But I guess Annie Brenda didn't quite get that or didn't understand what was going on. Something happened. We are missing something because it doesn't make any sense. Why would Annie Brenda just jump to, you're withholding money from me? I'm not going to be able to survive this month. Why would she jump to that unless something happened? I think, despite the fact that I think Annie Brenda is fucking using them, Annie Brenda seems pretty logical at the same time in comparison to Amini Amani. So I'm like, something happened and we're not getting the full story. And I think because there's the translation issue, she's not able to fully tell us what's going on. Something ain't right. We're not being told. But anyways, she really got upset. And she's thinking, that Amini Amani canceled the transfer because she's mad at me because I picked Matt over her. Then Amini Amani, this bitch, showing her true colors, the shining through. She hit so low, so fucking low, in a way where not only does Annie Brenda deal with this on a daily basis, probably from people who treat her like shit in her profession, but now she's getting it from a person who's supposed to be in her corner. And let's not fucking forget, y'all met her at her place of employment. You knew what you were getting when you met her. So the sad part, she literally starts going in and saying, you know, you're used to controlling men at your job. Like, I wish you had some self-respect. Bitch, I wish you had some self-respect. You have none. Nor do you have respect for others. I think that's kind of worse. Let's continue though. You, she says, you have none. I never would have thought to dance for money. I never would have done that. Do something with your life. Do something different with your life. This is the hand she was dealt, you bitch. She literally had nothing else she could do. I'm sure she tried, because I don't think most of us women wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a stripper today. No, you do what you have to do to support yourself and your kids. She was a young mom who got kicked out of her house, in order to, well, she got kicked out of her house. She had no choice. Her parents or her mother or whatever kicked her out of the house when she got pregnant. This is what she had to do. This is the skill she has. She clearly is good at doing what she's been doing. She's been doing it for like 20 years. My girl can work a pole, apparently. And this is what she has to do. And to shame another woman for being a quote unquote boss babe, let's not forget, this bitch is like, I'm a boss babe. I'm a boss babe. What would you have done in order to get there, though? That's my question. This woman, all shit aside, this woman is a boss babe. She literally had to do what she needed to do to make her money to support herself and her kids. So for you to shame her in that is so disgusting as another woman. But you have this privilege, I guess, where you think like that would never have happened to me. But what if it did? What if it did? What if that was your reality as well? You know? Anyway, um, Matt is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. How about we back up here? Let's not say shit we're gonna say, but it's too fucking late, because he says, I'm not gonna be able to stop this. No, sir, you never would have been able to stop this. She's a horrible human. And the thing is, she knows she is. That's the amazing part of this. She says it later. She knows she's a horrible person. It's so, ugh. She's like, don't I treat this woman so well? Well, not now you don't. Not now you don't. She's like, you're not the queen. Um, she's like, oh, when you're, you act like that when you're getting money, like she acts like all good and sweet or whatever when she's getting money, but you're not. You act all fucked up. And she calls her a bipolar bitch. So not only are we basically shaming her for the work she has to do in order to support herself, but we're also going to now like weirdly come at people who are bipolar as well. That's a mental disease. Like, if anyone is acting a little cuckoo, it's her. Like, I can understand to some perspective if you're so confused as to why someone's upset. I can understand the frustration in that, but you took it too damn far. But again, I still don't think I think we're not getting the full story there. This is when we hear her say as well, I've been trying harder with her. Or she says it actually, she actually says it to Matt. I've been trying harder with her than you have, and you know it. Do you want a fucking prize? What have you really been doing? What have you been doing? Sending her the money Well, as far as I understand, you control the money. That's what I've heard. So what else could he have done? But you were trying hard. You know what? She sucks. Then they go to the airport, and I think Amini Amani is trying to apologize to Annie Brenda, but like she won't even look at her. She wants nothing to do with her at this point. She's like, I wanted to say thank you. I wanted to say thank you. And she's like, I don't know what will happen after this. I'm sorry I'm not the person you want or deserve. Will you look at me when I'm talking to you? No, bitch, no, I don't need to look at you. You don't deserve my eyes looking at you. You don't deserve it. And she says, like, no, but she does. She does actually look at her though. And she's like, thank you too, but I don't like certain things about you. You need to control yourself. And then she leaves. And she's having a freak attack. She's like, it's so hard. So hard. Like, I don't know what I could have done different. Be a human. Be a human fucking being. That would have been different. You were like, she says, I hate myself right now. Same, I hate you too. Feeling is mutual. Something we agree on. She's like, I'm so hard to love right now. Like, I don't know why I'm so hard to love. Because you're incapable. Because you're just incapable. She's a narcissist. You are incapable. And she's like, she didn't even want to look at me. No, why would you want to look at you? Ew. Anyways, that's it for the throuple. Again, after the reunion, the tell-alls, I hope we never see these fucking people again. Let's move on to Greg and Joan. So this is where we're following up with them doing the phone calls to kind of be like, hey, Greg's an idiot. So they're like, oh, hi, Carol, it's Lucille. Oh, Lucille. Okay, hi. I'm getting ready. I'm blow drying my hair. Like I'm getting ready. Oh, are you? Mm-hmm. Prompt and early, I see. Good about that. So here's the thing. Greg's a dumbass. And he put 6:30 on the invite, but that's when we're actually starting the wedding. It's at 6:30. So we're basically saying people can come early so that you're not walking down the aisle with Joan. Oh, yeah, Emily is coming. Oh, yeah, she is. She's coming. Yeah, she came up. Yeah, we never see her. Yeah, she's coming up. Hey, Ma, you want to get off the phone? We got about 80 fucking people to call. It's fucking amazing. Okay, bye. Okay, let me call the next person. Okay, Emily, it's so nice that you're gonna be coming. We never see you anymore. It's just basic. I was like, I want to go to there. I swear I was Italian in a lifetime. Anyway, Joan's makeup, and I talked about this already in the last episode, freaking phenomenal. The best makeup job, I think, in the entire season of everybody. She looked beautiful. The hair, she looked beautiful. She was a perfect bride. She looked amazing. But we kind of get through the marriage part, blah, blah, they get married, yay. She says, I love the title that I'm getting today, and that's your wife. I love that. That's so sweet. Lucille ends up catching the bouquet because she's one of the single ladies. All the single ladies gather around, and then Lucille, she got the bouquet, so yay. But that's it. That is it for Greg and Joan in this episode. Let's move on to Mark and Mina. So she tells him, this is after finding out Clayton won't be there, I promised him that he was going to be coming. He's not going to believe me again because I lied to him here, and he's going to think I lied. And he says, you did not do that on purpose. All of this is out of her hands. You didn't do that on purpose. But even though she is sad, she is going to continue with this wedding because she has no doubt in her mind she is making the right decision for who she is marrying. She's ready. So we're doing this. We then see her calling Clayton to tell him And he's very upset. You can tell he's sad he's gonna miss this, but he'll be there. I predict at this point, by the time we get to the tell-all, Clayton is here. It's gonna be fine. Um, so they're gonna be going to be putting like, a picture up of her and Clayton on a chair to signify like so where Clayton would be. And Mark almost forgot the goddamn photo. He had one job. Anyways, so I know people have said like she didn't look great. I've seen the kind of the chitter chatter online. But I do understand the eyelash one was kind of like not kind of staying on. The hair kind of looked a little, but you know what? Or like they're saying the hair maybe was pulled back too much. That didn't bother me at all. I thought her dress looked fine. Um, yeah, the eyelash maybe was a little too much or whatever. Fine. When you zero in on a picture, then yeah, you looked like the worst. But I don't think she looked bad. I thought she looked pretty. We've seen worse. She looked fine. Um, so and the most important part of all of this, y'all, she got ready in less than 3 hours. Now that could be a joke at the baptism when it took her 3 hours to get ready, or to use 3 hours later, whatever it was. Or that could be a joke on Aaliyah taking a million trillion hours to get ready herself. You decipher. So Jordan is here when she says, I think it's a good idea that she signed the prenup. I would say, I wonder how Jordan feels about him adopting Clayton. Because that's just going to be another thing that she's going to be losing. That inheritance is getting smaller and smaller. So she's like, it's getting good. She's like, it alleviates the red flags. Bitch, you are a walking red flag. You mean it doesn't alleviate all of them. Anyways, she's kind of happy that you're happy. That's all that matters. Now, see, keep the same damn energy, in my honest opinion, because you came at her in such a way that you did, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, shut up," to her father when he's like trying to like fix the issues. You came at her hard, but I just want you to be happy. Keep the same damn energy. Anyways, Bria's the cutest, so she runs up to him. It's so cute. Um, Mark's dad is walking Mina down the aisle. Clayton is here, but in a different way. He's here over video, so he's not gonna miss it. The officiant, he's French. You know what? He was a good-looking older man. He was a good-looking man. Um, but I love the detail of, you know, he's a French man who's the officiant. He does his stuff in English and French. I thought that was perfect. Um, Then they take off in an airplane to the next part of the venue or whatever, if it's fitting. It looked like she was wearing a second dress. Am I wrong? I gotta feel like it was a second dress, but I don't know. Jordan is like, I can see the potential with Mina now, yeah. But like, if they were to have more kids, like I would still be upset about it. Then be upset about it, bitch. Be big mad. Like nobody cares about your opinion on that. Like they're gonna do what they're gonna do. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. It's done. Leave it alone. Um, then Mina drops this bombshell at the end. She's like, I'm pregnant. No, 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 I'm joking. I'm joking. You can't joke about that. Is Jordan around? Like, you can't joke about that. That's also, I don't want to be like the sensitive, like Gen Z. I'm not Gen Z, by the way, but I don't want to be like, oh my God, like everything is so sensitive. Like, you can't do that. Like, cancel. Like, I'm not going to do that. But when you can't joke about things like that because there are people out there that wish they were able to tell that to their partner and are unable to do that, like, hey, I me. So it's like not great. I still appreciated the joke though, I will say that, but I'm just like, oh, this is a little eh. Anyways, that's it for Mark and Mina. Let's move on to Sean and Aaliyah. You're not supposed to see her. You're not supposed to see her. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Those were his words. I don't give a fuck. And she's like, "You look nice in your suit." "Yeah, I do. You can see me in the car driving away in it." "Oh, no." "Jackie, shut up. You've made things worse." So he does not calm down, but he does go to Aaliyah and he says, "Okay, so here's what we're gonna do, okay? We're gonna say the I do's really quick. We're gonna eat some food and we're gonna get people the fuck out of here, okay? Great. See you in 2 minutes." Did he get hot all of a sudden? Boss me around, okay? But no, he's pissed, and he definitely she deserves to be yelled at in this moment. She's gonna piss me off, I'll get to it. He gets to the officiant and says, "Okay, well, she's here. Do what you gotta do to speed this shit along. Just basically say the words you need to say to make this legal so we can move the fuck on." He's like, "Okay." Literally. She literally said the things that make this a legal wedding. That's it. No fluff of, "We gather here today to join Aaliyah and Greg. They met on the beaches of Brazil." And yeah, that's a whole other story. We don't need to get into it. But they met on the beaches and they're lovely, and he did this thing about, having this, what was her name again? Do the proposal for them. It was a sweet thing, and he's so supportive, not really, but it's so great, it's so great. No, it was literally like, "Do you take him? Cool. Do you take her? Great. He exchanged the rings. Y'all married now. That's it." But again, like, what do you expect him to do? You are an hour and a half late. So, anyways, Jackie's like, "It felt like we were being yelled at by our dad. It was so uncomfortable." You were yelled at by your dad because you were an hour and a half late. Yeah, like, this is ridiculous. Bitch, I wouldn't be there. I would have left like I said I was gonna do. I'm gonna, bye. Like, I would have left. There's just no way I'm not marrying your ass. Um, he says, "I see her in the dress. And damn, she looks great. But I cannot switch it on and off. Like, I'm in a trance." Basically, he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's out. He's out on it. It is what it is. We talked about it at the base. The vows are basically, will you? Will you? Rings? Put them on. I pronounce you. You may kiss. Yay! Longest ceremony in history was one of the things that people said. Or he said, I think. So that was really funny. "So how you feeling? How are we feeling?" "Wonderful. Wonderful." There's no talking between them. Nothing. It's so awkward. Like, these two are now married, but he just wants to wring her neck. Like, don't do that. But I'm just saying, like, he's really pissed. And Aaliyah says, "The ceremony was really fast. Like, I feel a little bit disappointed." Yeah, you wanted a long, beautiful, fairy tale-like wedding. You should have been there at 5. You should have been there at 5. Um, his mom is like, "I am so sorry that I wasn't there." I guess, like, helping her get ready. I don't know. I don't know what she was talking about, but, she does leave. So he says, "Okay, well, let me make my toast." Okay, here we go. So, "Thanks everyone for coming." I'm not gonna get up. I'm not getting up. "And hey, Aaliyah, thanks for coming too." "Thanks for coming too, girl." Um, "Thanks for making it. I'm happy you made it." It's so awkward, but it's hilarious. So then we're at the day after the wedding, and these two look like two miserable people. And his mom apparently went to the hospital the night before. She didn't come home until like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. She at least did not break a hip, but she tore a ligament in her foot. But because of this, he said he was waiting up for her to come home, and they ended up sleeping in separate rooms. How romantic. They didn't even like consummate the marriage. Nothing. Um, he tells her to tell Leah basically her being late, it felt selfish. It was. He's like, "I'm sitting there with a mother who could have died if she had a broken hip, and no bride for 2 hours. You took the joy right out of it for me." He's like, maybe you should have figured out, what was going on. Because again, if you remember, the message was relayed to her that his mom fell. Not once did Aaliyah think, hey, maybe I should call him and see what's going on, or somebody to see what's going on. Nothing. Or have Jackie do it. Nothing. Um, Aaliyah said, I didn't know your mom was there. Besides the fucking point, whether you knew his mom was there or not, you still had a bunch of other people there in 102-degree weather, boiling their asses off in the middle of Satan's ass. And you didn't think, maybe we should be on time. Maybe you should think about other people. I don't know. And he says, I don't know if it's cultural. I don't know if it's age. I think it's a mix of both. But I also think it's just this mentality of, whatever. I'll be there when I be there. She just doesn't have the abilities to move quick and get ready. Or it was a Gen Z thing, because my brother can be like that. He can take 2 hours to get ready to do things. Anyways. So yeah, she's like, I didn't know she was there. Um, and he says to her, so what did Jackie tell you? And she says, she told me that she fell. And she's like, okay, did Jackie hustle you? Or was she like enjoying the 2 hours alongside with you? The 2 hours that you were late. And he says to her, I have a cell phone. You didn't call me? Nothing. Text me? Nothing. And she says, I think I was just frozen and blinded by the things going on. What the fuck? That is an excuse. That is bullshit. I don't understand what she's saying here. You were not blinded or frozen or none of that shit. You didn't give a fuck and just admit it. Just admit it. You didn't care that you were going to be late. You didn't care. Like, was Jackie giving her time checks? Okay, girl, you got an hour. you know? Like, this is ridiculous. It's so stupid. Anyway, um, she's like, I could see you were not happy about the day. And I think he says it's hard to continue to love you when it feels like you're being selfish. It's true. Like, it's not fun to be with someone who's selfish, I would imagine. She says, I feel small. I should be happy. You should have been on time. At the end of the day, she is feeling bad because he's mad at her, but the reason he's mad at her is because of her own stupidity. It is your fault. Own it. I don't know what else to say. She's like, living my fairy tale, they don't exist. I just thought about this time very differently. I'm sure he did too. I'm sure he did too. So she says that she blames herself and she seems to feel bad about that. But at the same time, I'm like, you should blame yourself. There's no one else's who's at fault but you. All right, guys, moving on to Jessica and Juan. So it's wedding day and Juan has not done his vows. Sir, did you forget? Did you miss the memo? I mean, even Herbie has finished his speech. Like, he got it done. So Jessica not only wrote her vows in time, but she also included Spanish in her vows. And she's gonna like his aunt, I think it was, to proofread the Spanish to make sure she got it all correct. My girl did the damn thing. Juan can't even figure it out. He's like, I'm a good writer, but I don't like to write. Okay? So Juan, do you have your vows yet? We're like, I don't know, 3 hours away. Did you get your vows done yet? No. I mean, it's on my cell phone. I just gotta write it down. He's like, I got like 50% done. Okay, maybe 30% done. Who am I kidding? 25% done. We're like literally an hour out from the wedding and he doesn't even have vows. So this is funny. At one point, Jessica says to David, I'm marrying your daddy today. Wah! He is not pleased. He's like, "Don't marry my daddy." I love you, daddy. Name that movie. I'll just tell you, it's from Shrek. It's one of my inside jokes with my brother. If anyone remembers, I think it's Shrek 4, which, like, was maybe one of the better ones since, like, Shrek 1. But there's a scene where this little kid is like, "Hear the roar, hear the roar," because he wanted Shrek to roar, I guess. And then he did, and he's like, "I love you, daddy." So good. Anyways, um, so the dress, it's nice. It's nice. Nothing really to say, honestly. She looked fine. His answer here, we mentioned, it's his mom's older sisters. He does tell us that he only lost his mom 2 years prior. He says she did meet Jessica, but unfortunately, she didn't get to meet David. So, yeah. Thank God it's not a blizzard outside today because if it were, fuck that, you're still gonna marry it outside. It's a good thing. Anyways, it doesn't appear to be freezing cold outside, but it probably is because the sun is. Anyone who lives in a part of a country that's cold, you know the sun. You look outside when it's wintertime, you're like, oh, look, the sun's out. Oh, nice outside. And then you go outside and it's minus 20 Celsius. So, yeah. Anyway, the, oh yeah, the D's. I wrote the D's. I like the D's. Her sons. What are their names again? Dayton? Dighton? Damien? What are their names again? Dalton? Who fuck knows? They say, we got a stepdad. A special stepdad. I hate when kids do that. So I'm sorry. We have one kid that's like, we have a stepdad, and the other one has to just be like, I'm gonna beat you. We have a special stepdad. It's so annoying. Why do kids do that? Anyways, um, we start dancing salsa, and he's like, this is a real Colombian wedding now because now we're doing the salsa. Salsa's fun. I like doing salsa. Anyways, that is it. We have caught up with the show finally. Yay. Um, so yeah, we'll try to keep it on time as much as possible. I am trying to still get through other shows, of course. But we're trying to get through that. So that's it. I think this is coming out tonight, as I'm recording. So tomorrow, y'all can expect. Finally, I'm getting on board with coverage of Hunt for Love. So I think I'm still working on episode 2, I believe. So episode 1, is episode 1 and 2 is going to be their own episodes because they're an hour and a half. And I'm going to do like bullet points. Y'all, it's too good. It's too good. I'm just like typing like crazy. It's so good. So that is going to be separate episodes. And then probably episode 3 and 4 will be one. We'll see how it goes though once I kind of get through that. But it is so good, and I'm so excited to be finally talking Hunt for Love. Oh, it's just magical. Anyways, but that's will come out tomorrow, and that's about that. That is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea times 2 pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website. where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityt times two, all spelled out, dot podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.